Alright, welcome back to the third and final Rush Hour movie from 2007. We are back in Los Angeles and with heavy traffic and see the crossing officer here. And it's Detective James Carter again, directing traffic while listening to music. And sees cars crashing to each other. In the next scene we see the limo being driven with Inspector Lee again. We also see Consulate Han 2 years later. And Carter has his two girls up for arrest, and he did this on purpose since, Carter, he melts when he sees Mushu he likes seeing. And Carter calls up Lee to tell him that he's got dates for themselves, but for today. He's got dates for him and Lee today. But Lee can't talk right now after what happened in New York 3 years ago, and Lee hanging up. And we have now made it to the World Criminal Court and see this spy hanging down here. Inside the court, and we see this guy talking at the podium. His name is Chairman Reynard, played by Max von Sydow. Consulate Han's contribution of trying to eliminate all the crime caused by the triads. And Lee looks like he's got the new job as a Secret Service member here. Looks like both Lee and Carter have gotten demoted or something from their original jobs. But I don't think they have. And once again directed by Brett Ratner, who needs to do a Rush Hour 4. And announces to the members he's located Shai Shin. And the members are already in argument. Meanwhile, this happens. Holy shit, Consulate Han has been assassinated by that spy we saw in the previous scene, climbing up the building. And Lee makes a run for it outside the window, or out of the window, and Carter hears on his radio that Consulate Han has been assassinated and takes over the girl's car. And Carter, driving hysterically, following Lee and spots him running. Lee made it inside just in time and runs after him, and Sniper Spy turns around, and Lee recognizes him, and his name is Kenji, played by Hiroyuki Sanada, who was in the new John Wick 4 movie from 2023, and ready to shoot each other, and here comes Carter with the girls. And they're both played by Mia Tyler and Sarah Shahi. And now at the hospital with Lee pissed off at Carter, and Captain Deal is back too, played by Philip Baker Hall. And Lee wants to see Consulate, or Ambassador Han, and somehow he lived, and Deal makes it clear that Carter is to stay away from this case this time. After what Carter has done to the girls we saw in the previous scene, and another incident from the past about Iranian doctors, and Captain Deal telling him Soo Young will be here soon to see her dad, Ambassador Han.
Let's go to the gift shop and get her a little teddy bear. And a bra.
And here is Soo Young, almost 10 years later, played by Zhang Jingchu, and Soo Young was played by a different actress from the first movie. I don't know her name. And Lee telling her he blamed himself for not shielding Han sooner. And she wants a promise of the two detectives to find the shooter who did this to her dad, and tells that she received an envelope for emergencies meant for Lee, and he can get it in Chinatown at a dojo. And the two go to Chinatown, but Lee tells Carter that this matter is meant for Chinese only, and tells Lee he's practically half Chinese. And Lee replying that he's half black now too, to make things even. And now go inside the kids' studio and see the kids have taken their swords out, since no one is allowed in the back. But Carter makes a point.
Lee, I got a big problem, man. This boy's on steroids. He got a head like Barry Bonds.
And Carter has been lifted off the ground by this oversized student played by Sun Mingming, a basketball player who's way taller than Yao Ming and Shaquille O'Neal, and starts throwing Carter and Lee around by this near 8 feet tall student here. And with all this entertainment for the kids, we see the real master walking in, and his name is Master Yu, spelled Y-U, not Y-O-U, and he's played by Henry O. And this confuses Carter here.
Yes, I am you.
Just answer the damn questions. Who are you?
I have told you.
Are you deaf?
No, you is blind.
I'm not blind. You.
Yes?
Not you, him. What's your name?
Me.
Yes, you.
I am me. He's me. And I'm you.
And Lee stepping in bowing to Master Yu, mentioning that they have the key to Soo Young's locker, and Master Yu responding to them that guys with guns have already emptied her locker earlier today, and the two must go get. And the master also tells Carter and Lee here that they must get to Soo Young quickly. And make it back to the hospital, and it's empty, and here comes Hitman walking to kill Consulate Han.
Don't move, I'll blow your ass cheeks off.
And here comes more hitmen and shooting against each other, and a bunch of flying around, and bullets have ran out to see this guy is only responding in French. And Lee wants a nurse to find someone who can speak French, and brings in Sister Agnes here, played by Dana Ivey, who played the receptionist in Home Alone 2, if you've seen that movie, Who hasn't seen that movie? And with a bunch of slurs that Sister Agnes understood from further pissing Lee and Carter out. And Sister Agnes continues to translate, now ready to shoot this hitman. And the French guy mentions an address, 55 Franklin Roosevelt, or someone named Genevieve.
Nice working with you, sister.
Anytime, brother.
So Lee and Carter go out to tell Soo Young that they need to get Ambassador Han out of here and have him driven here to this French hotel and see Chairman Reynard again. And he says Soo Young will come with him to Paris. And she's ready to go. And after that explosion, the two try to put all what's happened together and now have flown to France, where this all can lead to something. And Lee remembering Isabella Molina and some more jokes which I can't play. And Carter pointing out something in this location book and tells Lee to look at the address.
Roosevelt.
Like I said, you need me. Excuse me? Can we have one gefilte fish and some X-Lax?
The same 55 Franklin Roosevelt Street pointed by the Asian French guy. And we now have arrived at the airport in France, and this guy who says he's part of the police wants to talk to them, and he does look like Roman Polanski, you know, the film French director. It is him. I've searched it up. That is Roman Polanski. But you don't see much of him these days. It's probably like somewhere, maybe giving up directing. And the two get beaten up by these French cops, since Roman Polanski here is a police inspector, you know, like Inspector Clouseau because he's short, and is ready to strip search Lee and Carter, you know, prison style.
So we can go now?
This will just take a moment. Welcome to Paris. Oh, shit.
And now the two limp to this cab and sitting in. The two want to be taken to 55 Franklin Roosevelt, and the cab driver doesn't drive Americans and even starts to get political here. Triggering Carter to take out his gun to make the driver sing the American national anthem. And I brought the two here, which looks like 55 Franklin Roosevelt, thanking George, the cab driver here, played by Yves Attal. And it's a mini casino as the two look for Genevieve.
Carter. James Carter.
So you got the James part already, and the rest of the scene I can't play, I think you already know. Marvelous lines in Rush Hour. And she can understand English and wants to gamble, but Carter doesn't have enough euros to even gamble, so she lets him stay and he can gamble. Meanwhile, Lee's still looking around and asks the bartender here in English that he's looking for someone named Genevieve. And the bartender understood Lee, that he doesn't know who Genevieve is, as he replies in French.
Maybe I can help you.
And the girl next to him can help and tells Lee to come upstairs with her, and she can help him. So meanwhile, Carter's still playing Baccarat and makes up a story he used to watch Magic Johnson play Baccarat, and he loses with the 3 cards. And the woman wins 100,000 euros, and Carter's seeing Lee walking with the girl. So Lee keeps asking about Genevieve and Shai Shan, and the girl says someone will die today, and she pulls out a bladed weapon on Lee as Carter overhears behind the door. As Carter overhears behind the door moaning, but not the pleasurable kind. So with more knife throwing, and Lee opens a car and runs off with Carter and back into the cab and tells George to drive quickly since the bikes are now chasing them. It tells George to stop the cab here, and the back doors fall out and reverses and drive away again. And more bikes have made it too, and Carter's legs pulled by one of them, forcing him out, and Lee to jump out of the cab and sit there on the road. And see more guys are here from the back, and the next scene we see Kenji again in a white suit and have Lee and Carter captive. And speak about Kenji's brother John Lee, or Gene Lee, and Kenji being brothers with Lee in the past, and Lee wants to know why he sniped down Consulate Han and they will never be brothers again. Now the two make a run for it as Lee pushes one of the guys out of the way, and they are trapped here with cage bars. Have no choice but to slip down the central shit sewer water full of literal shit. Like actual shit, that like garbage, people's garbage ending up in the sewer. And Lee and Carter made it to the hotel, as Carter has a whole list of demands telling the hotel reception guy here, and now makes it into the elevator telling Lee why Kenji was there to kill him. And the lady's dog pisses on Carter, and inside the room with a change of clothes as Lee tells Carter that he met Kenji when he was a kid from Japan, and Kenji was sent to China, and that's how they became brothers, and Carter stepping in as he does understand. But Lee not getting the feeling that Carter really understands.
Let me help you, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, whatever Kenji's telling you, it ain't true. He ain't your brother. And you are not my brother.
Fine. I'm not your brother.
And after hearing this, Carter leaves the hotel and this song plays, and the two just move on quickly for now, with Lee now ordering cookies and pie, and with Carter ordering Mushu takeout while watching the second Indiana Jones movie. As Carter now sits in public, listening to the singer sing a Beach Boys song with a French accent, Carter now sees the same woman he was playing baccarat with, and she walks past him, making him follow her, and sees this big sign with her face on it with the name Genevieve, or Genevieve. And Lee just comes out of the shower and opens the door and sees Chairman Reynard in his hotel room, and comes in walking in to tell Lee some murders have happened to a French policeman caused by the triads. And Lee keeps asking about this Shai Shan individual we've been hearing so far. And Reynard tells him that Shai Shan is a list, sort of like Jun Tao from the first movie, thinking he was a Chinese guy but was actually Han's associate. And Reynard tells him that triad guys every 5 years team up together every 5 years to determine the 13 dragon heads who will control the largest criminal organization, and the list gets passed down generation to generation. And Reynard tells him a woman named Genevieve, or Genevieve, as Lee likes to put it, and tells him to go find her to prevent the Shai Shan list from getting worse, or from getting shown anywhere, and gives him a ticket for a theater show today. And Carter's at the very same theater right now following Genevieve. And Carter's at that very same theater right now following the girl he played baccarat with. So Carter goes downstairs and sees a lot of girls getting ready for the show, and now goes in here and asks where Genevieve is.
Who am I?
Oui.
I'm Bubbles, the new costume designer.
And the girl here tells him that Genevieve has her own room, or Genevieve has her own room. And Lee has also made it to the theater and sees the same Asian French guys who are also ready to watch Genevieve, or Genevieve. Meanwhile, Carter, still posing as a costume designer, having all the girls topless now, inspecting them right before the show, and these girls are happy that this fake fashion designer are ready to go on stage. And Lee is now behind the curtains and comes out from behind Carter that he's located Genevieve. And speaking of her, she now comes out in this car prop, and the guys are getting their guns ready to kill her. And the guys are getting their guns out ready to kill her, and Carter steps in to tell her that, and the lights have been turned off, and now this. And they escape the moment the French Asian guys start shooting again, and the audience is too gullible to not know that those were real bullets that were being fired. And the three escape with George, the taxi driver, again, and loves driving Lee and Carter around the last 2 days. He wants to drive them for free full time now, and is willing to drink this Starbucks parody coffee to convince the two that he wants to become American. And Carter tells George to speed back up to the hotel, and they have, and see Genevieve changing, and you can see both of them want to her. But Carter steps in and closes the door behind Lee.
Some things a man has to do on his own.
As Carter now talks to Genevieve in private, she tells she's part of the Asian French guys that did shoot at the theater, and is with them, and starts complimenting her. So 2 movies later, he finally gets some mushu. And Lee's still waiting for Carter, and Genevieve is loving Carter and will go into the bathroom to change and order some room service. And this old man in the wheelchair at the building cross is signaling to Lee that someone is behind him. And here comes Genevieve ready to go, and as Lee grabs room service, he sees Carter is already getting the pleasure. So it's the same girl that tried to kill Lee the first time, who was also behind him when the wheelchair guy was telling Lee that someone's behind him.
Damn!
So the 3 run off and hide at George, the taxi driver's house, and his wife doesn't like him having these 3 here, and she slaps him with all the comedy he's showing off here in the scene, which I can't play, and the 2 leave. So meanwhile, Lee asks Genevieve where Shai Shan is, and Genevieve takes her wig off, and the scene I can't play, absolutely hilarious. Carter calls her man. That's all I have to say. But continuing on, Genevieve tells the 2 that she's Shai Shan, and the Shai Shan list is at the back of her head with the names of all 13 dragon heads, and some sacred ritual for this list to be at the back of her head That's too much for me to explain, but I'll move on. And Carter now needs protection, and they have it here at this courthouse. And George says goodbye to Lee and Carter since his wife told him he can't be a spy, and drives off. And we see Chairman Raynard again to tell Lee and Carter that they have the Shan list. And Raynard has the three in his office and tells her to take off her wig. And is so excited to see the Shan list that Lee and Carter have Raynard and his guards trapped if he tries to take it. And yes, Raynard is the bad guy here, pretty much like Thomas Wilkinson and posing as a Jun Tao in the first movie. As Carter points out here that the limo explosion and him being at Lee's hotel room, Raynard was all planned, and that Raynard just wanted the Shan list. So just like Jun Tao from the first movie, now the phone is ringing and it's Kenji again, calling him that he wants Shan, and he's even kidnapped Su Young to make the two detectives and bring that list. And to save Su Young, make sure to meet up at the Jules Verne restaurant. You know, the novelist, the writer of many books from a long time ago. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And the movie's on Disney Plus if you want to check that out. So Lee and Genevieve have made it to Jules Verne restaurant, right below the Eiffel Tower. As Kenji's guy signals back that Lee is here with Shan, or with Genevieve, and goes up into the restaurant and sees Kenji with his guards and wants Su Young back, but instead, Kenji takes out the two katana swords and keeps annoying Lee from the past about not having children and no family, and here comes Genevieve.
He has me, his brother from another mother.
So it was Carter the entire time posing as Genevieve to bait Kenji, and Su Young is actually tied right outside the restaurant about to fall down. And Lee telling Carter to put his gun down, and he has no choice but to do it, and a katana fight between Lee and Kenji now. And they do that with Carter being funny as usual, and Kenji falls down into the window, and Lee, being his former brother, tries to pull him back in. But instead, Kenji pushes Lee out and still tries to attack him with the katana sword. And these two are just having fun playing on the Eiffel Tower, and Carter battling Kenji's guys back at the restaurant. And Lee and Kenji are tightly closed now and fall down, and somehow there's a trampoline like netting that they're bouncing off of. Now back to James Carter.
That man was fast as light. Su Young!
And Lee and Kenji holding onto each other as a trampoline net is broken, and Lee tries to save him again, but Kenji lets himself die and falls down into the gift shop. And Carter trying to save Su Young is almost there, and here comes the assassin girl again, and Carter playing Tarzan to save Su Young, kicks her by accident, and the assassin girl gets killed in this Eiffel Tower gear, the one that's moving around like a wheel, and the assassin girl is dead. And Lee has made it using these big wires and is happy to see Su Young and Kenji's guards are back. And Lee and Carter are now hiding inside the flag of France to fight off the guards, and with the wind catching to the flag, Carter falls off and Lee tries to pull him back in and has no choice but to take advantage of the windy flag. And I've made it inside the stoned pond, and it's funny to see this actor that played Kenji in this movie appear again in France in John Wick Chapter 4 from 2 years ago, Hiroyuki Sanada. But I like Rush Hour more than John Wick, let's be honest here. And to swim back to see his Chairman Raynard again with Genevieve ready to kill her, and this. And George kills Raynard and was following Lee and Carter this whole time. And here comes Roman Polanski again, the French director, congratulating Lee and Carter, but congratulating mainly himself. But Roman Polanski congratulating mainly himself because he didn't do shit to capture the triads, or Kenji.
He's right, Lee. Together we can do anything. You go this way.
And I'll go that way.
And we ended off here in closing down a well-known movie trilogy, Rush Hour 3 from 2007. Thanks for watching as always, and as usual, bloopers before the credits, and I'll play some of that for the next 8 minutes. And make sure to check out all 3 Rush Hour movies, they're all fantastic. You'll never see anything like this anymore ever again. Movies like this require thought, and no one has a lot of thought these days. Take care, see you soon and watch away, and see you next time in another episode. And stay tuned in the short section for movie updates or video updates.
Cheese! Cheese! What?
Freeze.
A freeze!